for the geometry of the room, this is the best place for us to get a recording. It works better to get a video from the side, just FYI, if you can see everything. It's hard to see in the swing when it's straight. Here we are. Okay. So let's go ahead and move into number 11, which is arm strengthening. We were using the leg loops in our hands with the swing around the front of the hips for 9. Now we're going to skip the swing and just use the leg loops. Okay, we can use the hand holds or leg loops to do arm strengthening. Let's go ahead and learn how to use the leg loops by ourselves, which is more challenging, right? Because the swing is holding some of our weight. So we'll just try this and see how it goes. And we will incorporate a little bit more today. We're going to save our writing for the end so we can just get some clean video for you guys to review. So I like to start with some push-ups. And we're going to lean forward like we did before on a diagonal. And just focus on that. Just pulsing back and forth from stand to forward using your arms. Flat back. Pay attention to where the crown of your head is, because as soon as you head dive, your butt sinks back. When you push your hips forward, your head comes up, right? So we're pushing our hips forward the whole time, staying in a straight line. Now once we find our maximum diagonal on the tippy toes, then we bend our elbows, bring the leg loops to the shoulders, right underneath where the armpits are. And then we're going to press and come on up onto the tippy toes the whole time. Come on down. Yeah, that's a nice straight line, long lines of energy. Very good. So these are pretty hard, right? Press and lift. Good. Press. Okay, cool. So after we do a few push-ups, then we're going to step forward into a lunge. Let's start with the left foot forward. Okay? So now we're going to do our push-ups from here. You'll notice this is a little bit easier, right? So we're pressing straight down towards the ground. And lunging and lifting. So if we wanted to make these a little bit harder, what we would do is on the lift the leg as well. Bring down into a push-up, lift the leg. Land gently, press and lift. Use your arms, lift, lower with control. That's it. Press up to stand, come back. Let's try the second side. Now, easy, right? Just if you smile, everyone thinks, oh, that must be easy, and then you do it. Okay, right foot steps forward, lunge, use your arms. Just do the pulse, pulse. Maybe a tiny little lift. There you go. You don't have to go too far, right? Just use the arms the whole time. Keep the hands no wider than the shoulders. When they go wide, it's unstable, right? Keep them in tight. A little higher. Practice with balance. You want to try that? So. Okay, great. Let's stay with the right foot forward and bring the arms overhead. I'm going to slide back a little bit so I can get into a deeper lunge. And then I'm going to do the arm press like we've done before. So press down, straight arms, bend the front knee, lunge. Crown of the head towards the sky. Okay, we're arching from the back of the heart. Straight legs, lunge, come on up. Center of the mat. One more time, left foot forward, lunge, slide in so you have a nice wide stance. Arms overhead, press the arms straight. Use your arms instead of your back to lift, right? You can use your legs. If I use my legs, it looks like this. It's like, oh, this is easy, right? If I use just my arms to lift, it's really hard, right? If I can use half leg, half arms, and try mixing it up, but we're trying to make it hard so we can strengthen the upper body. Really good. This is also a nice way, again, to lubricate the shoulder joints. We can also come wide and forward, wide and forward. Always keeping tension on the leg loops, pressing down strongly, right? Pop back up to center. Okay, let's get into our leg loops on the shoulders. going to march. Walk forward, march. Arms into the sides, march, march. Bring your arm a little bit higher again. That's it, march, march. And if we want to hold, extend, hold, extend, start to incorporate our core, as well as strengthening front body. Okay, other side, hold, other side, extend, hold, extend, extend. All right, walk into a wide straddle, drop into the elbows. Just take a moment to twist from side to side. So we're flexed, right? Hands are really strong. We never really let the fingers just dangle off the body. We have them attached to our arms and engage. Let this feel good. So we're going into some twists here from side to side. And we're going to push forward into a peppermint patty. We call it peppermint patty. I'm pressing into my toes, really strong, and then rocking back. You can step on your landing strip if you feel like your toes are going to slide. Just bring them onto the purple mat. Lean the hips back, inhale, press, 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 really strong. And sink back into the heels. Inhale, press the hips forward, balls in the feet. So sink back. Okay, shake it out and center for a second. Maybe bend one knee, the other knee, and catch your breath. So that was our wide straddle. And then we're going into a wrist wrap. Same position with the legs. Now I want you guys to just watch this one because when we lean forward, it feels like you're going to fall on the crown of the head. So you can just walk your feet forward a little bit and then sink back. So I'm using the leg loops to hold my weight as I come forward. Okay? Just try it. Try rocking back and forth a few times. Your head's going to be really close to the ground, but it's not going to touch. This is prepping us to come into clearance. Okay? If you want, we can bring the leg loops up. Go ahead. You can tell by the laughter. Bring them up one if you want them a little higher. That'll give you more clearance. Everybody felt fine? Then you're fine. Okay. Yeah. So wrist wrap. Lean forward. I'm going to show you what happens next. So just watch while we're waiting for everybody. I'm going to come into a low peppermint patty. It's a really strong shoulder stretch. What I'm going to do is rotate my thumbs up to the sky, so I'm externally rotating the shoulders. So after a low peppermint patty, I'm going to come into clearance. It looks like this. I'm going to tuck my chin to my chest, walk my feet together. So I'm going to plow pose, I pick up my feet, and balance, and then I roll down. With control, no plops. No plugs. From there, if you want, we're going to reverse it. Oh. From there, I'm going to reverse it. So I'm going to lift my legs, bringing up over my head. All goes well. And then I'm going to land my toes on the back. Come back through a little peppermint patty. Okay. Let's try it. Wide straddle. Wrist wrap, and it's okay if you don't nail it on the first try. Just have some fun with it. Because we are learning how to do the flips even though we're really close to the ground. So wrist wrap is when the leg loop is tight over the top of the wrist and then you grab and bunch it up. Low peppermint patty is when you press forward, press your butt towards the ground and lift your head. And then tuck in, walk your feet together. Keep your legs straight and try to balance in a plow. Then start to walk your feet towards the center of the mat and float. With straight legs, roll down so your bum touches. Straight legs. You guys know how to come into a plow? See if you can keep your legs straight. Just follow the instructions. Lean forward, Mika.
Yeah.
Lean forward,
Okay.
lean forward, tuck your chin to chest. Yeah, and then let yourself float. Now let's try and just float and do that with control instead of falling over really quickly, and just find the balance. So we're gonna go the opposite way and see how it goes. And just practice floating. So now we're gonna kick our legs up. See if you can pull into a plow. Okay? So just practice picking up your legs and rolling back. Bring your butt to the front of the mat, it'll help. Yep. Don't try to go all the way over, just try to kick up and roll back. Okay. What's this?
I think it's over the back of your wrist.
It's called
and then you
clearance.
Then you hold it around.
Yeah, so wrap it over the top of the wrist and then grab. Tight. Yeah. Your hands have to get used to holding on so tightly. Right? Lean back, try to lift your legs up. You can hold on with your fingers, you're just not going to have much of a grip. The wrists allow you to pull a little bit more. But if you hold on with your fingers, you'll be a little bit lower to the ground, and you can still pull. Okay, just lift your legs up and roll back. Like I said, you're not going to nail it on the first try. Just try and lift like a plow, right? We're coming in. Does everybody know how to do plow on the ground? Okay. This is the same thing we're doing with the leg lifts in our hands. So in order to come into a plow, you have to lift your butt. Bring your legs back over your head. So try that with your arms extended. But yeah. That's it. Just lean back. You're not going to go too far. Just practice lifting your hips and rolling back down. That's all. Lift the hips, roll back down. You know that tuck thing I've been talking about all weekend? That's the same thing where we have to lift our hips, right? If you don't know how to do that movement, do it here with your arms pushing into the ground. Right? Same movement. Pushing into your hands. Can you feel your core? That little thing that happens in your stomach when you lift your hips, that little thing. Now see if you can do it with your hands extended, and you pull with your hands instead of push them into the ground. Just instead of doing a wrist wrap, just hold on for the first one. Yeah, we'll get to the wrist wrap. Okay. Just hold on, lean back, lift your hips. Let your toes come over your head. That's all. That's the same move that we're trying to do. Exactly. Very good. Yeah, so let's come up, try one more time from our wide straddle. The reason why I do a wrist wrap and a wide straddle is because I do want to eventually float. So just like a plow, keep your legs straight and just let yourself roll down, okay? Wide straddle, wrist wrap. So everybody walk your feet forward more than you think. So when you lean forward, you don't feel like you're going to land on the crown of the head. From there, tuck your chin to your chest. Then walk your feet together. With your chin tucked into your chest, you're going to start to float. Let yourself float, and then slowly roll in. Need your hair to be cut.
Yeah, my hair.
There you go. Tuck your chin into your chest. Yeah. And then see if you can roll down onto your bum. Yeah, you did it. Okay. We all landed here. Very good. All right. From here, we're going to kick up. I'm going to go the same direction as you guys. A little bit easier to see. From here, we're going to kick up into a shoulder stand. So that was clearance. Everyone do it? Something? This is version. Let's just practice. So I'm going to come into a wrist wrap. And one way or another, I'm going to get my feet in the swing. You can push one foot into the ground and lift up. You can come into the plow and then pick up. One way or another, we're going to get our feet in there. Okay? I like to do that if you're going to practice. You gotta lift. Once you get your feet in there, bend your knees and let it hook behind the back of the knees. And then you're going to lower yourself down with control. We're going to release the leg loops from our hands, and our shoulders are going to be at the front of the mat. Back of the mat for you. If this seems impossible, let's give you guys the shortcut. You can come in, sit in the swing, hold on, lower your butt down, and then slide in, right? There's always more than one way. So let's see how that goes. Okay. Let's all come here quickly. Shoulder stand. Roll your shoulders underneath. And we're going to practice straightening the legs and dropping the hips. Straighten the legs, push the hips towards the sky, chin to chest. It's kind of a reclined shoulder stand, right? We're not going up very high.
Okay, you could just sit in it.
What?
Sorry. Nothing.
Press the hips up and drop the hips. Roll your shoulders a little bit more underneath you and interlace the fingers. Tuck your chin into your chest. Good. Okay, straighten the legs, turn the toes out. Hook the swing with the balls of the feet and straighten the legs, your hips towards the ground. It's going to be a strong hook on the arches of the feet, and then you just let your hips sway from side to side, hands or palms down. So this is kind of like the burrito, right? You can try pressing your hips up again and dropping your hips down to do some variations. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. It's a nice restorative way to end a sequence if you want to do Shavasana on the ground. Okay. Go ahead and put your toes towards the sky. Release the swing. Let's go ahead and roll up. All right. Let's all stick together, okay? Let's grab for the leg loops in our hands and move into THERAPEUTIC move, standing at the back of the mat. So wrist wrap. I let the leg loops be tight over the top of the wrists, and then I grab, and I keep tension on the leg loops the whole time. If I don't have tension on them, they slide off. So you have to keep tension to kind of keep the hold. So Alyssa, lean back. With the leg loops, let's do it together. Lean back with the leg loops on top of your wrists. Okay. Keep tension on them, and then grab. And then keep tension the whole time. That's how they stay. Go ahead and bend the knees and drop your bum, and just let yourself wiggle a little bit from side to side. So this is going to be some strengthening, and then we're going to move into some grounded poses. So we'll combine some restorative with some strengthening, some advanced. So this is called THERAPEUTIC moves. And from a seated position, I'm going to do some bicep curls. Not a huge surprise. With our bicep curls, we're going to come into a slight back bend. So I lean back the whole time, I arch through the back of the heart, and I lift. Come back, and lift. Straighten the arms, and then pull myself up. I usually do about 10 of these. And then if I was going to do a more restorative version, I would come down in between, stretch the back, inhale, lift, leaning back, bicep curl, exhale, lower, drop the hips. Inhale, lift, leaning back, bicep curl, and then drop the hips. Very good. In between, you could just gently rock from side to side, and let it feel pretty good to stretch the back, stretch the hips. Add some playtime and some free time. It's one of my favorite back stretches, actually. Then I'm going to go ahead and lift myself up to stand. Go ahead and hold the leg loops in your hands or shoulder. Okay. I'm going to drop my knees to the center of the mat. Come on down into a child's pose. Okay, and swim back behind me. You can always bring the leg loops up or down to make it easier. If the leg loops are high, it's harder. If the leg loops are low, it's easier. So I'm going to bring mine down so they're the same level as you guys. Forehead to the front of the mat. Inhale, lift, look up. Swing the arms wide and around. So we did this one with the shoulder sequence, where we're just going to bring the arms wide. Kind of like our deep dive. Bring the forehead down. Inhale, lift. Bring the arms overhead. And let's pulse. So I drop my chest. And then I press my arms down. Up the chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Press down through the arms strongly the whole time to strengthen the shoulder joints and to protect the joint. Time, slowing it down. This is a good thing to do if somebody's not enjoying being in the swing with it at their hips or behind their back. Use the leg loops in your hands and just do some variations on the floor. Bring your arms wide. Let's dive one more time. When I'm here, I can also do a little sway from side to side. Create a fishtail or rhythm wave. Very good. Inhale, look up. Bring the arms around. And we're going to bend the elbows and come up through camel. So in camel pose, I'm going to keep the swing in front of me because I'm going to lean back. So I have a strong hook, elbows in. I'm going to rotate my fingers to my face. And then from here, I'm going to arch and pull up as I lean back. So my hips press forward, knees are shoulder distance, and then I'm looking up and back. From there, I can come into rainbow or Sukhasana. Squeeze the knees together. Straighten the arms, let the crown of the head find the back of the floor by your toes. Inhale, bicep curl, lift to camel. Exhale, lower and lean back. Drop your sit bones towards your heels. Straight arms. Inhale, bicep curl, let's do 5. Exhale, lower. Lead with the hips here. Press the hips forward. Inhale, up. Send the hips back. One more time. Inhale, lift. And exhale, lean back. We're going to come to sit in order to come around. So drop your hips over to the right. Swing your legs out in front of you. Wide straddle. We're going to do some forward folds, but I want you guys to wiggle your bum back. So the pubic bone is at the center of the mat. Okay? So a lot of people have trouble with wide straddle forward folds, and we want to give them a nice, easy alternative. So what happens is people round their pelvis, and they look like this, right? So we're going to use the leg loops to lift straight up, strong arms, arch through the lower back and pulse the pubic bone forward, under, and back. So the tailbone is shooting back, right? So we encourage people to use the leg loops to help lift and arch from behind the heart and just pulse. Pulse. Yes, I know it's tight. Smile anyhow. It's okay if it's tight and then you smile. Why not? So yes, so this is how we help people start to open up the tightness of the hips and the groin and the legs. Okay, you don't have to go very far to get a good stretch. Most importantly, do not round the back. Stay arched behind the heart and find that proper alignment of focusing on the position of the pelvis, the pubic bone rolling down and under, and the tailbone shooting back behind. Once you feel comfortable, keep that alignment. Stay arched through the back of the heart. Lean forward and let the arms sway from side to side. Not back, forward. So we're not doing around the world. We're going to stay arched. Okay. Now, sometimes in these poses, it can be fun to bring one hand down and add a twist, a stretch. Okay. So we're using the leg loops to stay lifted. So keep pulling with the upper arm, which will allow you to open and twist. So you're trying to shine your heart towards the sky. Yes, that's the twist. Let's try that one more time. And for those that are flexing, you can release. Touch the toes like revolver, like we did when we were upside down. Stay lifted if you need. Really good. Okay, so let's end with a little playtime here in our grounding sequence. I like to use a wrist wrap whenever possible. It makes it a lot easier on my little fingers. I'm going to squeeze my legs together, pull my hips forward, about a quarter of the distance to the front of the mat. And then I'm going to do some boat and bicycles. So just play with boat and play with bicycle. I like to bicycle out to the side, the other side. Just stay lifted through the upper body and let the lower body play a little bit. Maybe some break dancing moves, twists. Yeah, just some playtime on the floor. Some windmills, whatever happens. So the idea is we can modify some of the floor poses with the use of the lift and support to allow there to be more suspension in the spine instead of collapsing into some of these poses that are really hard for people. So even just a gentle forward fold, right? So the idea, same, is I keep a flat back, arch behind the heart, and I don't go down nearly as far, but I wiggle my sit bones back and keep the chest lifted, opening up the shoulders. From there, we're going to switch to using just the fingers, and we're going to come into fish pose. So lift the heart by pulling down the leg loops and let the crown of the head find the floor. If you have a practice where you like to lift the legs halfway, free to add the variations and modifications. Otherwise, let it be restorative and relaxing. Bicep curl, come on back up. And release the leg loops. Very good. So that was 11 mixed in with the floor sequence. And we'll take a pause and do some writing and reviewing that. And we'll come back with, we're going to do our new plank series.